Warmer weather today. Lots of places with those cooling tents too outside. And what did I read today? Some interesting stuff. This first one was really fascinating to think about because I've read that story before where in the US there were officials that used drones to take pictures of a person's property in order to say he violated various laws. How about this one where apparently an insurance company did kind of the same thing where they got, I guess, aerial photos of a person's property to say, okay, we're not going to insure you anymore because of that. This one here says, insurance company drops customer saying a quote drone took photos of clutter in yard. Sveen was shocked when he got his notice from his longtime home insurance carrier, California State Automobile Association Insurance Group, a AAA insurer. They're going to be terminating our homeowners insurance policy, Sveen said. His house isn't in a fire zone and he's never filed a single claim in 15 years. Instead, the notice said CSAA found debris, hazardous conditions, tires, or a dilapidated car in his yard. But how would they know that? No one ever came to inspect. So Sveen called the company and they said, oh, we sent over a drone and they have a drone that they sent over my property, just flew into my yard, so very shocked. Yeah, Sveen said. He says CSAA would not let him see the drone photos nor give him a chance to clear his yard. I guess the old school way would be to knock on your door. I guess they don't do that anymore. They send a drone, Sveen said. So that's kind of interesting, isn't it? And afterwards, it seems like, I guess, they tried to clarify the insurance company. They told him, oh, we didn't use a drone. We just got, quote, I guess, property aerial imagery to assess the risk. When I guess the news station questioned them on that, it makes me wonder, in that case, did they all of a sudden say, don't say you use a drone, just because of all the regulations and stuff there are in regards to that stuff? For example, beyond visual line of sight and all that. So that's kind of interesting in that sense. And then get this, apparently, like it says here, we flew our own drone to see for ourselves how it looks from up there. So the news station decided to do themselves, and I guess they even say they can see that there's clutter and stuff in the yard. Although the argument, I guess, from the owner saying it's not clutter, he's just someone who works on things like cars all the time, I guess, and he says it's not dangerous or neglected. But still, with this story, that's so interesting, isn't it? Can companies actually do that openly now? I mean, with all those talks of people fear-mongering a recreational fire and so forth, are companies doing this now? And it's like, okay, it's perfectly okay. And they kind of have, I guess, that mentality of, well, you can get pictures other ways, because it says insurance companies are increasingly using tools like aerial photography to assess the risk on your house. CSAA told us that anyone can go online to services like Google Earth 3D to get a good idea of what companies may be looking at when they assess the risk of insuring your home. As for the legality of taking drone pictures over a house, state law only forbids that if you're specifically doing so as a sort of peeping Tom. Really fascinating debate. What would you say in this case here? Is it okay for companies or organizations to use it in these ways? It makes me wonder too, can the guy just demand them that they give it up? Because I would assume they canceled a contract per se, and in order to cancel a contract, wouldn't the other party get the proof that you used against them? So wouldn't that be something if he actually got the images and it turns out it was from a quote drone? What kind of other sticky situation would that actually create in this situation? That would be interesting in my opinion. And this was an interesting read today where I often say more people can use the tech in a good way. How about this one? This one here says 12-year-old hears whale spray, then captures once in a lifetime moment with drone. So another one of those examples where you just never know what's out there. If people have the drone as a tool, they use it to capture stuff, for example, they could do good things. This one says, Zach Humsky spent the last day of his school break on the water with his dad. The pair headed out on Monday, July 17th, venturing about 6 miles off the coast of Yanchep, Australia. As 12-year-old Zach, who is a photographer and drone pilot, was flying his drone, his dad, Steve Humsky, captained their boat. That's when the father-son duo heard a distinct sound, whale spray. Using his drone, Zach spotted a mom and baby humpback whale swimming together. Saying, quote, the mother kept coming up to the surface and was carrying the baby on her nose, so we believe it was a very young baby learning to breathe and swim. Zach's mom, Kim Tully, told McClatchy News in the email. The baby was happy to play and swim around the mother's head. Video of the interaction showed the massive mama whale diving through the water and using her nose to nudge her baby as it swims ahead of her. What a great capture! I would say too, again, that would probably help a lot of people because it's stuff that you don't see every day. You could use it as research as well. And it says here, Zach said that he doesn't often get emotional about nature, but he was overcome with joy seeing the whales. He will never forget this experience. Tully said, Steve said they didn't catch any fish, but they were thrilled seeing the whales and that it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. What a great quote, and it gets me to think too, where think of it, in so many parts of the world where they fearmonger a basic modern day drone, saying, for example, kids should not be flying this. So imagine this, a 12-year-old flying the drone. Are people gonna drone police this now? Oh, it's illegal. You need to buy, I don't know what it is, $2,000 worth of training and all that. Or like in some places in the US, they would consider this as, quote, commercial work, correct? So all of a sudden, this is an illegal, I guess, quote, operation. You better register your drone, again, past that part 107, just for a kid to do something like this, to capture a photo and video, share it with the world and so forth. Or at the same time, he's flying what, near an animal again? Are people gonna say, it gave him a heart attack, unresponsible? And in my opinion, just with that quote of him saying it's emotional and all that, in my opinion, these are the types of things that are needed to basically get rid of things like hysteria and all that. You need more people creating stuff like this because a lot of people do react to things emotionally. You can be as logical as you want, but ultimately it's stuff like this. When you start seeing people as the regular public, for example, where you see this guy drone police this kid afterwards, fear-mongering it, that's when people will say, hey, what's going on? Why are you like this? I mean, you need more stuff like this, in my opinion. No wonder the animals don't want to sit on the ledges today, huh? Alright, see you guys later.